in Numbers 15, verse 38, when he says, tell them to make hems of on their garments, and that they should put the fringe of the border, a ribbon of blue. This word is translated in Hebrew as the word wings. So now watch this. For this reason, the corner of the prayer shawl is often called wings. Now, I happen to have a prayer shawl here, which is exactly what Jesus was wearing when he was walking and when this woman touched the hem of his garment. And I want you to see that this is exactly what Jesus wore. And when he wore it, you see the blue ribbon, the blue band, and then on the end of it is this tassel. And I want to show you what this tassel is made of, because you might think, gosh, the pastor's, getting a little weird on us. Let me explain what this is made of and why this is made in the way that it is made. What this tassel has, and this is what she was touching. She saw that he had this tassel, this hem. This is the hem of his garment. She saw this, and she understood what it meant because she had been taught the Hebrew tradition, and that is this, folks, that each tassel or wing, this is called the wing, each tassel or wing consists of 5 double knots. If the camera can look at this, and maybe you guys can see it up close, but there's 5 knots. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There are 5 double knots on this tassel, and then there are 8 strands, which if you count up all these strands, there's 8 strands and 5 tassels. That makes up 13. Now you say, what's the significance of 13? Well, if you understand that this word tzitzit in Hebrew for tassel or for hem, the word for hem is actually, in Hebrew, words had numerical value placed upon words. And the numerical value in Hebrew, I'm losing some of you, I know it, but this is going to heal you. Watch this. Because everybody has an issue of blood. Maybe yours is not an issue of blood. Maybe you have an issue of a bad husband. Maybe you have an issue of a sick condition in your body. Whatever it is, whatever your issue is, it's going to be healed today by the hem of this garment. Now, what is it? The word for hem in Hebrew, which we just went over, which also means wing, is the number 600. So this tzitzit, or this hem, is numerically in Hebrew represents the number 600. So if you add the number 600, and this is what the Jews did, this is why the Jews made it this way. They added the number 600 to the 5 and the 8, which equals 613. What does that mean? Well, according to the Bible, there are actually exactly 613 Old Testament commandments of the Bible. 613 commandments which are represented in the hem of this garment. Can you hear me still? Can you follow what I'm saying? So there's 613 commandments that are identified by this hem. And as Jesus wore the hem of his garment represented the 613 commandments that he himself had already fulfilled by dying on the cross or going to the cross. He said, I didn't come to destroy the law, I came to fulfill it. Jesus fulfilled every law, he fulfilled every commandment. This woman knew that the only way to be healed is if she fulfilled If I fulfill all the commandments, I can be healed. But she realized Jesus had the hem of his garment on him. And if she just touched what Jesus did, if she could just touch the fact that he already fulfilled all the commandments, all of her disobedience in exchange for all of his obedience, his fulfillment of the 613 laws, he's the fulfillment of the law. He is perfection in the flesh. He is holy. There is no sin in him. There is no spot in him. He obeyed all of the commandments. All 613, he obeyed. He did not break one. This is so important you get this, folks. He did not break one commandment. Therefore, he had the right to be healed himself. And she understood that. And so she said, he has the right to be healed because I know he's a holy man, and I know he's never broken the commandment, and I know he has the right, and he's fulfilled all 613 commands. He's never broken any one of them. She said, but if I just touch what he did, if I take his obedience, if I take his fulfillment, if I exchange my sickness for his healing, I can exchange my poverty for his abundance. I can exchange my weakness for his strength. Because the only strength that we can have comes from perfection. You got to be perfect, and none of us are, but Jesus was, and he wore it, and he had it, and it represented his perfection, and it represented his obedience to all the commands. Now, this word for tzitzit is wings. It's wings. Where is it used again in the Bible? Malachi chapter 4. Let's look there quickly. Malachi chapter 4. I want you to see this, folks. Malachi chapter 4. I know I'm teaching you some symbolism and some things from the Old Testament and the New Testament, but it matters, and it puts depth in you, puts meat on your bones spiritually, and it gives you a reason to know, gives you something to sink your teeth into and to believe. Malachi chapter 4, verse 2. Last book of the Old Testament, Malachi chapter 4. This tassel, this hem, the hem of his garment is referred to and spoken of again here in Malachi chapter 4, verse 2, and it says this, but unto you that fear my name shall the Son of Righteousness arise with healing in his wings. When she saw this tassel hanging down from Jesus' prayer shawl, she said, oh my God, Malachi 4:2. This is exactly what she said. She said, wow, that has healing. There's healing in his wings. There's healing in the hem of his garment. There's healing in the covenant. This is a covenant that God made with mankind, and Jesus is carrying that covenant, and Jesus possesses that covenant. And if I just touch the hem of his garment, if I just touch the wings of his garment, I'll be made whole. I'll be made healed. I'll be healed because the Bible says there's healing in his wings. Folks, now you got to read the Bible to understand what we're talking about here. Otherwise, I look like a fool. But if you look at the Scriptures and you put these Scriptures together, you realize, wow, that's why she touched the hem of his garment. It wasn't just, oh, I just got to touch him. A lot of people touched him and didn't get healed. The disciples said, look, Lord, multitudes have touched you. He said, no, somebody put a demand on my covenant. Somebody put a demand on the hem of my garment. He who knew no sin was made to be sin for us, that we would be made the righteousness of God in him. I wish somebody would get a hold of this today. That you are now, because of what Jesus did, he became sin so that we could be made righteous. He took upon himself all the curse so that we could be blessed. He became poor that we would be made rich. He took upon himself our sickness and disease that with his stripes we were healed. It's the hem of his garment, folks. What is the hem of his garment? It's the fact that he fulfilled the law. He obeyed all the commands, and therefore our faith in his obedience brings us into the blessing. In the Old Testament, it was our obedience that brought us into the blessing, but in the New Testament, it's our faith in his obedience. She was putting her faith in the fact that Jesus has fulfilled all the commandments. Jesus is wearing the perfection. Jesus is the perfection of the law. Jesus is the keeping of the law. Jesus is the Sabbath. All the promises that you'll have rest on the Sabbath, that you'll be blessed in the city and blessed in the field, it's all in his perfection. It's all in him being the one who carries out all of the law. So that now we're no longer in a legal relationship with God by what we do. We're in a friendship with God because of what Jesus did. If we will just touch the hem of His garment.